Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to discuss on the chapter Human Health and Disease. In that, we are going to discuss on the concept immunity. So let us know first what is immunity. Immunity is ability of an organism to fight the disease causing organisms. There are a set of organisms which capable of causing disease and there are called pathogens. But inside our body also having some mechanisms which fights these diseases causing organisms in order to protect our body. If you say in the simple form, immunity could be defined as a resistance to disease. In many of cases, we are susceptible to various infections. In this case, the immune mechanism maintains a state of resistance against the various infections. So, immunity is broadly classified into two types, namely, one is innate immunity, another one is acquired immunity. So, in the innate immunity, again it is divided into types of innate immunity. The barriers are present. So, first one is physical barrier, second one is physiological, third one is cellular, fourth one is cytokine, and second one is acquired immunity. Again acquired immunity is going to characterized into two types. One is humoral immunity, another one is cell mediated immunity. So let us discuss first innate immunity. So what is innate immunity? So innate immunity is present from the time of birth and it is not a pathogen specific. The word innate means inborn. So this is that type of the immunity which is present inside our body by birth only. So inborn immunity. Innate immunity is a non-specific defense. It is not against a specific pathogen. It's only against with the non-specific type of a pathogen. So they are non-specific, so and effective against a wide range of microbes which generalized the effects. The effectiveness of this innate immunity will be varies from person to person, and it also depends on the various factors. So what about the acquired immunity? So acquired immunity is not from time of birth and it is a pathogen specific. So immunity acquired is after the birth or it is not present by birth. When you talk about the immunity acquired, some sort of substances are introduced into a body which provides immunity to the body, and it is a pathogen specific defense. And that means acquired immunity may be a immunity is provided to an organism against the specific pathogen. So acquired immunity is always against with a specific type of a pathogen. So the next one is innate immunity. Let us go with a detailed study of innate immunity and their types of all barrier types. Okay. So what is innate immunity here? Just now we discussed that innate immunity innate immunity is a type of non-specific type of defense which is present at the time of birth, inborn. Okay. So and also it consists of a different barriers which are having capability to stop the unwanted foreign matters into the body. And let us have a look on that four different barriers here. One is the physiological barrier, physical barrier, cellular barrier, cytokine barriers. So these are the four types of barriers which together gives innate immunity to an organism. So let us study one by one about and how these stop the entry of the pathogen or unwanted substances into the body. So the first one is physical barrier. So it is a physical barrier is nothing but which prevents the entry of microbes or microorganisms into the body and which comes in contact with the body. So it stops the entry of the foreign materials, and these are the structural and mechanical barriers. And here the skin is acts as in a skin is acts as in a physical barrier, and it stops the entry of many substances in our body, and it is a outermost tough and impermeable barrier also, and some of the lining of a respiratory system, gastrointestinal, and some urogenital tracts, so are lined with some small cells which trap the microorganisms and make them immobilize in condition. Okay, for example, when we breathe, okay, so when we breathe, so that time what happens, inside our nostrils there are some small hairs which are present. So what is the function of those small hairs? So those structures are going to prevent the entry of dust particles inside the nasal passage, and they doesn't those hairs will doesn't allow to enter any microorganisms or any of the dust particles inside our nasal passage. Okay, so this is the example. And the next one is physiological barrier. The physiological barriers are the quite different from the physical barrier here. Physiological barrier includes some factors such as temperature, it may be a pH of the body fluids, and these are released from some parts of our body. And these secretion of the body is going to act as a physiological barrier here, which prevents some microbial activity and the growth. And first one is the acid, stomach acid, we can call it stomach acid or acid in stomach. Okay, so we'll discuss one by one about the physiological barrier here, like saliva in mouth, tears from eyes, and all prevents the microbial growth. So stomach acid, the medium inside the stomach is acidic due to the presence of HCl acid, and these acids also prevents some microorganisms and the pathogen, that because microorganisms or the pathogens cannot survive inside the stomach in the acidic medium. So this is about the stomach acid. So next one is the saliva. So what is this saliva? Saliva is a watery fluid which secreted inside the oral cavity. So it also have some pH which not suitable for many of the microorganisms and the pathogen. Okay, so this is about the saliva in the mouth. And the tears, when comes for the tears, it is also watery substance which comes out from our eyes, and tears also contains many chemicals antibacterial enzyme like lysozyme present in tears. It will prevent the infection of our eyes. Like this, so many organs are there which secretes different types of chemicals and prevents the entry of pathogen and the foreign substances. Okay, and one more example, that is wax secretion, that is waxy secretion from the ceruminous glands. Where it is present? It is present in the ear canal. Okay, and what is this wax? It is going to function here. The wax is going to trap the dust microorganisms or any type of insects, and that doesn't allow to enter inside the air. Okay, so this is the examples for the physiological barriers. So the next one is a cellular barrier. So these are the certain cells which itself acts as a self barriers or internal defense barriers. Okay, so by engulfing some pathogens and destroying them by secreting certain chemicals against them. Okay, and also tissues are mainly acts as a cellular barrier here, that is leukocyte cells are also called as a WBC cells. WBC is nothing but white blood cells. Okay, and in this what happens, some of the cells like leukocytes, some of the cells like leukocytes, monocytes, lymphocytes and macrophages and polymorphonuclear leukocytes and natural killers cells, and some macrophages in the tissues can phagocytose and destroy the pathogen or the microorganism. These are some of the cells which are going to help to fight against that infection or the pathogen. Okay, so this is all about the cellular barriers. The next one is cytokine barrier, last one. So what are these cytokine? These are the substances which are secreted by certain cells of immune system which affects other cells, and these are the proteins which protect the non-infected cells. Okay, so these always protect the non-infected cells from the further viral infection and all. So interferons which prevent viral infection in a non-infected cells, so it does not allow virus to infect the normal cell, so that it is how it acts as a barrier. Okay, so this is all about the cytokine barrier. So the next one is acquired immunity. So what is acquired immunity here? So it's a pathogen specific and characterized by the memory. So now let us see about what are the types of these acquired immunity, and how the based on the mediated acquired immunity, there are the some types of immunities are formed. So when pathogen encounters body, so what happens here, the body for the first time they respond by producing an initial response, that is the primary immune response, which is having very low intensity here, and the same when the same pathogen encounters at the second time, what happens here, the highly it is second time body elicit and highly intensified, and it is called a secondary response. And here what happens, there are some certain cells inside our body which can remember the pathogen, and if the same pathogen attacks again, what happens, the body will fight against that pathogen and with a greater force, and as a result they will not able to win and body protect from that infection. So let us know what is this primary and secondary responses. The primary responses is very low intensity response because the pathogen encounters at the first time. So that pathogen because the body is unaware of that pathogen. So what happens in the secondary response here? So in some of the pathogen, if the same pathogen again attacks, now the body is prepared for itself and gives a good response to give up, and the body immune system response will be very high intensity. So the pathogen not able to cause a disease. So secondary response is stronger and help to get rid in that disease. So due to the memory of the first encounter is stored, so this plays a very important role in acquired immunity. Okay, so the next one is the types of acquired immunity. So in the types of acquired immunity, let us now see that some of the types of acquired immunity which are based on the mediated immunity. Two types of mediated immunities. One is humoral immunity. Humoral immunity is also known as antibody mediated immunity, and second one is a cell mediated immunity. So we'll discuss one by one about these immunity, acquired immunity. First one is the humoral immunity here. So the tissue which are involved in the acquired immunity are actually they acts as a mediated in the process for the immune response. Now we saw that the two types of cells which are involved in the immune response, so that is B lymphocyte and the T lymphocytes. So what is the function of this B lymphocyte here? It produces the antibody. But what about the T lymphocytes here? It helps to B cells to produce the antibody. T lymphocytes will never produce any antibodies. They will help to B cells, that is B lymphocyte cells, to produce the antibodies. So first we'll discuss what is humoral immunity. So this is the type of the cell which is mediated by antibody. So that is which is all controlled by the antibody production. So whenever the antibody production comes into a picture, which the lymphocytes plays a very important role here, that is B lymphocyte cells. So this type of immunity is a humoral immunity. So what is this meaning of humoral immunity here? Humoral here, humor is a derived from word fluid, like plasma, blood is also fluid. So these antibodies are going to produced in the blood. So B cells, that is the B lymphocyte cells, plays a very important role in humoral immunity. And when the pathogen invades the body, these B lymphocytes are going to identify that as a foreign substances and responds by producing an army of the proteins called antibodies here. Okay. So the next is the antibodies are going to antibodies are the proteins which going to fight against with that pathogen to eradicate them from the body. And the T lymphocytes here, which are going to help for the B lymphocyte cells to produce an antibodies, since the antibodies are found in the blood, and this immunity response is called a humoral immunity response. And the next, here you can see in the picture the lymphocyte cell, and these are the cells which are known as antibodies, Y-shaped antibodies, and these are the loop like structure, so these are known as the antigens. Okay, here these are the antigens, this is the bacterial cell, these are the antigen, and this is the lymphocyte. So these are all about the humoral immunity. So the next one is role of B lymphocyte. So what is the role of this B lymphocyte here? The lymphocytes are produced at the bone marrow and differentiate in bursa equivalent into the B lymphocyte. So this bursa is going to form in the birds. Okay. When antigen enters into the body, the number of the antigen is nothing but it is a type of a pathogen. Okay, foreign substance is enters into the body, and the number of B lymphocytes are going to stimulate it to produce an antibody. And once the antigen specific antibody producing, the B lymphocytes are going to activate it, and it multiplies rapidly to produce a number of cloned cells. So these cloned cells, B lymphocytes, are differentiated into the plasma cells, going to differentiate in the plasma cells, and these cells are going to produce a specific antibody against that antigen in the large quantity. And the cloned B lymphocytes that undifferentiated will remains as a memory B cells. So which is remaining as a memory B cells, which is playing a very important role. When the same antigen enters again in the future, that memory cell, this memory B lymphocyte cell, is going to respond rapidly and destroy them. So this is all about the role of B lymphocyte cell. So the next one is structure and the type of antibody molecule. Okay. So antibodies are the proteins produced by the lymphocytes. The antibody is mainly known as a immunoglobulin. So it is a Y-shaped, and each antibody molecule will have the specific structure because of they will able to bind to the specific pathogen to destroy. And this is how the antibody looks. This is the antibody structure, how it looks. And there are the antigens are the types of the pathogen here. You can say so antigen is any foreign substance that can attack the body and cause the disease, and they are all antigens. So here you can see this antibody is having an antigen binding site. So this is the antigen binding site, and this is the antibody, the complete, this is an antibody here, and this is the antigen binding site. And this antigen binding site, there are the sites where the antigen can bind antibody. Here are the some sites, okay, and these will be having we are having to capability to bind with an antibody, and those will antigen, and that prevents from the causing diseases. So once the antibody bind, it causes some changes in the antigen, and it prevents from the causing diseases. So each antibody is binds to a specific antigen. It is made up of the 4 peptide chains here. These are the 4 peptide chains. 4 peptide chains here. 2 are light chains and 2 are heavy chains. Here it is a light chain, and these are the heavy chain. Okay, and these are represented as a H2L2. H2 is nothing but heavy chains are 2 and light chains are 2. And the next one is the 4 polypeptide chains are held together by the bisulfide bonds. So bond, here you can see the yellow color mark here, dots, black color dots in between the yellow lines, color lines. So these are the bisulfide bonds. So here it is, and each chain contains constant and variable regions. So which all here the constant and the variable regions. So these are the constant on the light chains, you can see these are the light, and these are the heavy chains here, these are the heavy chains. And in the constant chain also you can see there is a constant, it is constant, and the variable regions are observed. So at the front region you can see these are the variable regions, and these are the constant regions. In the constant region, the amino acid sequences are constant and same in all antibodies. In the variable region, amino acid sequence will be getting varies, so with the different antibodies. And the variable region is present at the tip of Y arm forms the antigen binding site. So this is the variable region at the tip of the Y arm forms the antigen binding site. So this is the variable region, and this is the constant region. Okay. So this is all about the structure of antibody molecule. So different types of antibodies are produced in our body. So which all those? First one is, so let us know first what is this Ig. Ig is a immunoglobulin. So what is this immunoglobulin? Immuno is related to immune system. Globulin is related to the globular protein. Okay, immunoglobulin. So the first one is IgA, IgM, IgD, IgE and IgG. So these all are the types of different types of antibodies. Okay, what all their function? So IgA is a secretory of the antibody. IgM is a pentamer and is a megaglobulin, and it is a first reaches the injured site. It first reaches to the injured site. And what is the function of IgD? It binds to B lymphocytes and acts as a surface receptor. And IgE plays an important role in the allergy. So IgG crosses the placenta and protects the fetus. So this is all about the function of the different kinds of antibodies. So the next concept is cell mediated immunity. So what is this cell mediated immunity? Cell mediated, this is the type of cell which is mediated by T lymphocyte cells. Okay, and these T lymphocyte cells, however, do not produce any antibody themselves, but they can recognize antigen present on infected cells, and they can stimulate the B lymphocyte cells to produce antibody and also stimulate the neighboring T lymphocyte cells. So this type of immunity is called the cell mediated immunity. So in this type of immunity, antibodies are not directly involved. Okay, so the T lymphocytes produced at the bone marrow, and they are going to differentiate in the thymus into the T lymphocytes, and it does not produce any antibodies, as we already discussed that, and it directly acts on the antigen. When antigen enters into the body, the antigen specific, that is T lymphocyte, going to stimulate and become an active. So like this, the function of the cell mediated immunity is going to take place. And the activated T lymphocytes, when it undergoes, multiplies continuously, that is rapidly, to produce a number of cloned cells. So and that time it is going to affect multiplies rapidly and producing some cloned cells, and it is giving some it is recognizing that antigen which is present on the infective cells, and it is stimulating for the B cells to produce some antibodies against that antigen. Okay. So the next concept is, according to the function of T lymphocyte, there are some identified into the some cells, that is the killer T cells, helper T cells, suppressor T cell, and memory T cells. So what all these T lymphocyte cells function? Killer T cells, these are the T lymphocyte cells recognizing the specific pathogen and destroys by lysis. Okay. And helper T cells, that is helps in the stimulating antigen specific B lymphocyte cells to produce the antibody. What about the suppressor T cells? These are suppresses the immune response of the both B lymphocyte and T lymphocyte cells when the infection is controlled. Okay. So what is the memory T cells here? Function of this memory T cells, these cells, T lymphocyte cells, are programmed to recognize the response to the specific antigen, and then it enters in the future. So this is all about the types of the T lymphocyte cells. Okay. So these are identifies the infected cells which expresses the antigen on its surface and releases some certain proteins called cytokines which disrupt the infected cells. Okay. This function is all done by the T lymphocyte cells. For example, here the transplantation of human organs like heart, eyes, liver, kidney, it's very important to find some suitable donors who all are suitable for the donors are suitable, only with them the transplantation of the organs can be done. So the grafts for the transplantation cannot be obtained from the any animal or the primates or any human beings, and it is rejected by the acceptor or patient sooner or it may be a later. And to avoid some complications, some of the procedures should be taken followed, that is the tissue matching and the blood group matching should be taken, and some suitable donor who all are suitable for the transplantation process of the organs. So the suitable donors are taken. Okay. So after the transplantation, patients have to take has to take some immunosuppressants all his or her life. So this is all about the T lymphocyte cells. And let us go with the next study, that is active immunity and passive immunity. Okay. So now based on how the antibodies are formed in our body, so that is acquired immunity are of the two types. One is the active immunity, another one is the passive immunity. So body produces its own antibodies against the antigen. So what is the function of this active immunity here? So this is the active immunity. Antibodies are going to produced in the host body when exposed to the antigen. And so here the two major cells are going to play a very important role, that is the T lymphocytes and the B lymphocyte cells are going to involve. Okay. And it is very slow and it takes time to give its a full effective response in the active immunity. So and here the antibodies are produced inside the body. So let us try to understand what happens in the active immunity. So what are these antigens? Okay, so these are the many living or the dead cell also. Now once these antigens entered inside the body, so the body encounters the antigen. As a result, the production of results, the antibody happens inside the body. So the B lymphocyte cell starts to producing the antibodies against of that antigen. So it process takes time and the produces some sufficient antibodies, and also it is very slow process. Okay. And let us see some examples of natural and artificial type of active immunity. So here you can see there is a active immunity, some natural and artificial type of active immunity here. So some natural active immunity, let us take some one example here to understand this. A person who have already suffered from the hepatitis A virus or any of the flu, so generally they do not tend to suffer from this virus again. So why? Because when the first time the virus attacked the body, the antibody could not prepare fast from the fast in the body. So the virus is successful in its attack or to make the body harm. But when the same virus attacks the second time, what happens here? The body remembers that particular virus here, and the body is going to produce more and more antibodies to fight against that virus or any of the pathogen. So this is the natural active immunity, because naturally the active immunity is developed inside the body. So it all happens on its own. So this is how the natural active immunity. Okay. So what about the next artificial active immunity? So antibodies are going to develop in the response to a vaccination. Here the active immunity is the antibody produced inside the host body. So in this case the proper care is taken. Pathogen is introduced into extremely very small amount in the form of vaccine. It is not harmful to the person. So the vaccination of the smaller dose of the harmless version of the disease, that small amount of dose caused to produce antibody in the host. Now with this body did not this body in this with this the body did not suffer from the disease. The vaccines are available for many of the disease like the cholera and hepatitis A, and some of the viral flu is taken by the person quite before it attacks. Okay. So this is how the artificially the vaccines are introduced in the host body, and these are very harmless before attacking these all of the viral flus like the cholera or the hepatitis A and some of the diseases. So the person has to take some vaccines and artificially into the artificially into the body. Okay, so this is about the artificial active immunity. So the next concept is passive immunity. So what is passive immunity here? Passive immunity is nothing but ready-made antibody is transferred from one individual to the another individual. So here the passive is the case, antibodies are not produced in the body, rather they are ready-made antibody and are injected into the host body. Some of the antibodies outside are introduced into the body. Now these antibodies are against with some specific antigen. This process is very fast process. Now both the active and passive immunities can be happen naturally, or it can be made to happen in the artificial form. Okay, so here we can go with some natural and artificial type of passive immunity here. So let us study about that, what all the natural passive immunity and artificial passive immunity. So antibodies will be injected in the natural passive immunity. Antibodies are received from the mother, example through the breast milk. Okay, so in the natural form the antibodies will be injected from the outside into the body, but here will not injected, not be in the artificial process. Next see how it can happen. Example, the antibodies are received from the mother's milk or from the placenta. That is example colostrum, which is the yellowish fluid secreted by the mothers during the initial period of the lactation, in which IgA antibodies are, which provides the immunity to the infant, and the fetus also gets some antibodies through the placenta. In the initial period of the lactation, mother milk is having a yellowish fluid is secreted and it has a rich in antibodies. When the baby is feeding on the milk, the antibodies are going to receive along with that mother's milk into the baby, and this case the passive immunity, because the antibodies are not formed inside the body of the baby, it is produced somewhere from the mother's body and it is introduced into the in the form of milk into the baby, in the form of milk and outside and mother's body. So it is a natural process and it is fed by the mother to baby. So like this the natural passive immunity is taking place. So what about this artificial passive immunity? Antibodies are received from the medicine, example from the gamma globulin injections or the infusions. So this is the forcefully injecting the antibodies, which are ready-made antibodies, into the body. For example here rabies virus. So rabies virus is present in the dogs. So when the dog bites somebody, what happens? That toxic or the poison virus entered inside the person's body. Now the body will start producing antibodies. Whether do we have enough time in that emergency situation to let the body for the production of antibodies against of that virus? No. So in that condition what happens? This time the forcefully the antibodies are going to inject inside the person's body, and that artificial form, once the antibody injected, it will starts to reproducing, it will starts to producing fast, and the fast form the antibodies inside the person, and the recovery will be very soon. Like this the artificial passive immunity is going to function. Okay, so this is all about the active and passive immunity, and in that natural and artificial type of active and passive immunity. Thank you.